Hello everyone, Ben's here once again. We are continue our quest for guiding powder. That's what I learned it's actually called. So there's some sort of shenanigans happening beneath us, but we really just need to go ahead and port back to the main world at this point. Oh, ow. So that we can... Well, first we'll pick up this coin. So it's a good tradition when we start an episode. It's like, let's at least get our money. We always leave a bunch of coins behind because that's just what we do. We get a little lazy. There's money all over the place up here. And of course we were going to come back to this parallel world at some point. But why not grab the cash beforehand? This looks like what could be a vat of acid. So let's... Well, it may have been at one point, but it fell down. We are going to port back, because I have grand plans for how we're going to find what we need. So let's just head home. We got what we need out of this place. Remember, we're also looking for a Nala. Sometimes those can be for sale in these places. Bombs materialized, probably not what we're looking for. It's like a kind of a throwaway perk we're not going to need. So let's head up, right? And see if we can locate a bottle of unstable teleport. I also did a little bit of other very minor sleuthing on this. Because I don't know much about alchemy, and we could sit here all day being like, alright, we mix a bunch of liquids together, what is created? We can make our own unstable teleport by pouring whiskey into regular teleport. And we know where regular teleport is, don't we? Oh, we do. It's in those little holes inside of Holy Mountain. And I'm telling you, we should be able to make the stuff that we're going to need. Now, ever since we picked up eating of the vegetables, our damage went pretty much through the roof here, folks. Now, I'm concerned that our belly does just seem to go down in satiation on its own. It doesn't go up when we eat more. Could be a bizarre interaction between eating of the vegetables and iron stomach. This looks like just some stuff I cast aside. But we're going to need fungal caverns. I think that's where the vast majority of potions spawn. So anything we can do to kind of get off the beaten path and go a direction that we haven't gone before in order to find potions, basically. We want potions. Maybe we want orbs if we happen to find them. Oh, well, obviously we want orbs. If we're trying to do a 33 orb run without any form of skullduggery, looking up exactly where they are based on seed, which of course would be pretty lame for my playstyle, we have to find it with guiding powder. The only way that that's going to be fair. Now, I used to make that before. That is a substance that I've worked with in the past, but I couldn't remember how I did it. And now we know. But we still want to be real cautious. We still want to grab all these coins, because we are going to be aiming for something such as the unlimited gold threshold, which happens at whatever, 2 billion. That's a lot of gold, alright? It's like 2.1 billion. Then our gold goes to infinite, and then we can use things like gold to power, I think is the name of the spell. Which is of course going to open up a lot of extra damage, similar to our vegetable buff. Because now, look, I mean, our triplicate bolt just kisses them for a second, and it gives us... It just kills automatically. It's just quite devastating. even from the bolt, or from the... of course, from the drill. But there certainly are spells that we're going to want that are going to make this work even better. Now, you know what, though, folks? We did leave one set of perks behind. If we went to the bottom, there should be perks in the Temple of the Art, right near the final the final shop is at the work, right? So it wouldn't hurt for us to go locate some of that, grab perks again while we're on our mission to figure everything out. Snowy Chasm. Oof. They're not letting us port through here. There we go. I just want to see this wand. Nothing. Oh my. That hurt. Okay. This looks like the Frozen Vault. Now in the past, in other worlds, well, in the main world, there's always a thing in the Frozen Vault, but this might not actually be it. It could be the power plant that we're looking at here. If we have to blow these things up with this ridiculous thing, we are immune to the electricity side of it, so it doesn't exactly matter. Actually, that thing did not seem to want to die to that. Now, here's where it does die, though. As long as I hit it with enough of this, it should take enough Venomous Curse that it will be brought down by that. But that is a little bit slow to be like, okay, well, I venom you guys to death by exponentially landing these per tick spells. It's not the fastest to do it that way. But it is a way I can get past those things. I really just want to explore this way. We haven't gone this direction. This is all new. And mushroom biomes were something that we were going to be kind of looking for. Now, if you look carefully over here, there was a heart. So we're always going to pick those up. This looks like worm blood. These guys can be venomous cursed to death, but it's pretty tedious. Okay, always cast something. Looks like I'm immune to melee, so they can just sort of look at me and hang out with me. I bet you I'm contact damaging them too. So this is kind of ridiculous. The scene here. Not going to be the most efficient way to bring them down. But the more procs of these I put on them, the more they're eventually going to die to Venomous Curse. It's just tedious, that's what it is. Compared to just hitting something with Eat Your Vegetables. But hanging out with the Loopies are really not going to be my idea of a good time. Up we go. And remember, I'm kind of breaking some cardinal rules here, because we're not supposed to go up. This is how we get polymorph and other horrible liquids to land on us. However, we do have wands up here. Interesting. Expanding spheres, always fun. Now that purple liquid you see around here, that is some high-powered poisonous stuff, and I believe it is going to do percentile-based damage to us. And act kind of like a vat of poison. But we are going to avoid touching that, even though I can heal right through it. Now here is a fungal cavern. This is what we wanted. Unstable teleport. Did I get it? I did. Cool, we can now make guiding power. So that was the missing link, folks. We just found it. That easy. I was like, we gotta check a mushroom biome, because that's what's probably gonna have our substance that we want. Now I navigate these very carefully, because here's another mushroom world. There can be a lot of bad liquids up around here. So we're going to start to just kind of dig underneath this and make our first little attempt at creating the guiding powder. We want to do that somewhere else, because if we fire it too close to, you know, the top of the world, oh god, come on, stems. Okay. If we fire that too close to the very surface of the world, right? It's just going to point up to a place where we already got the thing. We'll be like, okay, well, the nearest orb is up top. It's like, well, duh, I know about the starting orb. I don't need to be guided toward that. I need to be guided to something completely different. But we want to sort of fire it kind of at the edge of something. And we really want to go ahead and experiment with that as soon as possible. There's a mushroom biome over to our left, and I'm interested in exploring it, but oh, not with that chaotic polymorphine right there. Yeah, I'm not even going to want to pick up that wand. I don't even want to look at it. And obviously we've been here. And now here's some meat biomes with some stuff. We can incurse octagonal bolt eyeballs. Mysterious eyes. Oh, that's a swapper. What's the problem with the rage levitation? Is he's gonna swap me into him. But hopefully he's dead now. If we stay floating above this... Oh, I got a little toxified here. This is going to be a heck of a lot safer. Like, we can go up a little bit along this path. Let's try a little guiding powder here. Rather than keep talking about it, let's just do it. And this spot looks as good as any. So, to make that... First of all, I don't like this cloud looking at me. It's a little menacing at this point. There's a bunch of curses in here. We don't like him. Oof. What is the deal with this enemy? Why can't I kill him? Let's find out where that thing is spawned from and make it someplace nice and safe before we really try to... Ow, ow. There. They're coming from that. It deletes a lot of it. Once again, don't shoot up. Like I'm doing it, but I did... Oh, okay. Here's another bizarro room. What the heck is this? Portal back. And then it's like quiet here. It's soundproof. And we're being followed by these. Do these hurt me? They do. They do... They do damage. Ow. Alright. Why don't we try finding some place where they're not looking at us, and we can just... these things are following me everywhere. Okay, so this is not quite working. We're gonna go ahead and find somewhere else where we can start this process. 'Cause I'm excited to try it. We now have the 2 potions that we need to make it. And maybe, just maybe, it'll be enough to work with. It'll be enough for us to find, you know, our first orb. Track them down. The more we use that stuff kind of off the beaten path, the more likely we are to have that steer us to a very close orb. And we're going to have to use a few of them to sort of triangulate it, right? So hopefully we can create guiding powder without a whole lot of having to use much of the substance itself. So we only have these 2 potions of it. And I swear there was more Flamuxium around, but we, of course, destroyed it because we were too reckless. And this frozen chasm just has too many cursed things for me to be able to work with this. And those guys, those blue clouds are just relentlessly following us around. I say they're quite annoying. They're drawing all the ire of our ghost army. So let's try to dig up and out of here. Come on, studs. Is this safe right here? Are we still being followed by evil? Can I make something nice and flat? Yeah, we're still being followed by this thing. Look at that. 8 damage. It can't die? Can it die to explosions? Let's try that. No. It dies to nothing. But that's sort of a example of I hate this biome. And all that stuff is so flammable. You know, like, I don't want my guiding powder to just go poof and be gone in an instant. So it's really more of a question of how long are these clouds going to follow me? Can I go far enough to the left? Despite the slowdowns of trying to drill with the too many drills drill. Your drill has too many drills. What do you have to say about that? I'm sorry, is my response. I don't know what I was thinking. I get a little out of hand. And we suffer for lag for it. Now, we did get a great comment before that's like, you know what, buddy? You can make your drill invisible. And then it's not going to render all of this. Because I bet you this is a poor interaction with bouncy spells. Bouncy spells is causing all these lingering green guys to have to be rendered. It's overloading the engine. Very poor pun. Oh, look at this. It's like, it's affecting the quality of this drill. That's my opinion. Is this the frozen vault, or is this a power plant? We don't know. It's the frozen vault. Alright. The frozen vault is supposed to have, or historically, has historically had a orb at the bottom of it. But why don't we get to the bottom of this and see what we find down here? Up to 3.5 million. Let's head down and see what we got. Oh, might need to blow this one up. For a little bit of that trick blood money whenever we find a gaggle of bad guys. Oh, I am now... Oh my. Oh my. Gotten a little out of hand in here. In terms of the engine, but nothing we can't handle. There's a little bit of a gang over here, so let's start with that. There's some more trick blood money for us. Okay. Haha! So there we have it. Orb discovered. The frozen vault does indeed give us an orb. But this is where we wouldn't want to use the guiding powder, because it's just going to point us right to this. So instead we know, alright, at the bottom of the frozen vault there is an orb. Always. Why don't we head out of here? We got what we wanted from this biome. Nothing there. How does one go up from here? Where's well, we go up this way, but where does up lead us? We really have no idea what's above this, but it looks like I found another hole that I had dug. Remember, we're going to be navigating by landmark. Now, I think one thing that really helps with looking up this, with finding stuff, is there's a perk that you pick up, I want to say in the power plant. And maybe I needed to do this before we were in New Game Plus. It's like, Noita guy looks at the map when standing still and gets like a kind of a overview of where he is in terms of in relation to certain celestial objects like the sun, the moon, the dark sun. And that would be helpful to find. Now we are in the basic world and it's looking a little bit misty outside, so not a great time to head up. But I have some ideas for this episode of some things we're going to be looking into, right? So if I take this and I just drive us back to the main drag, first of all, it's way too foggy out here to mess around in the sky. We do want another, like, workshop, which we could certainly just get in hell. And here's the big tree. We'll go up and over it. I don't feel like digging through this. All that added levitation stuff I have is allowing me to fly for a pretty long time. Something's gassy over here. Could be some enemies. Yeah, here they are. These guys like to spawn outside. These are kind of newbie killers. They like to spawn for people that, like, leave and don't go into the main drag. It goes like, oh, hey, buddy, you need to go into the main world, which is this. So when you're low level, they can kind of take you out. So, we are back home. We can certainly find one of the orbs in hell. By just heading down. That will also give us one more perk, right? At the bottom of that shop. Now, as I understand it, there can be orbs buried in what's known as the lava lake. So if I go down this way, create my guiding powder somewhere down here, possibly in this sand cave. We keep talking about it, yet we're not doing it. It's like, oh, I'm going to make that guiding powder. And then I don't do it. Because something keeps happening. I get a little distracted. I get a little enthused. But we really need to find a moment somewhere. Okay, guys, excuse me. Just want to make the powder. But I need, like, the right spot to do it. And I need to be far enough away from wherever that top one was. Okay, this is a fungal cavern. It could be stuff in there as well. These can get dangerous. They can get a little bit polymorphy, right? I'm also under the impression that unstable... Oof. There's some flummoxium right there, in fact. So what happens if I take that and I pour a little in here? Okay, it pointed. It's pointing. It's down that way. It pointed down and to the right. So, don't die in here, Stens. There looks to be polymorph. It's hard to tell what's polymorph and what is slime. So how about just don't touch the purple stuff, right? There is more flummoxium right there. Some of it that we might even be able to scoop. Granted, it's gonna hit us with that, with the debuff itself. but I have half a mind to grab it. 93%. Now I'm being infested with it, and that's okay, because I can remember how to... Alright, it picked up a little bit of it. It's gonna wear off soon, especially if I... Okay. Watch this. We pour a little bit on top here. Just a smidge. There it goes. It's still pointing down to the right. What's this? Nothing? Okay, power plant biome? Well, we've now made our guiding powder, so things are looking up. Down and to the right. Loving the eat your vegetables buff, but we are down to, you know, some 300,000, or 4,000, I should say, seconds of our sweet liquid. So if we can find an appropriate amount of water, let's take a moment to increase that count. Now we're diving into a bit of a meat biome here. And there is lots of water up here. This could be a really good opportunity to create a bunch of concentrated mana real fast. First of all, what's this? Whiskey? Whiskey is... combined with regular teleport is enough to make more unstable teleport. Like I said, I looked up a little bit of alchemy. To me. This is deleting the water that we wanted. So we'll have to find somewhere a little safer to get that water. These meat biome things seem to be immune to everything, so let's not go right after them. And of course, our favorite Luki minions. Look how much damage I just took from something. Let's take a second to get healed up. It's like my attention waned. Somebody may have seen that and been like, hey, Stens. Well, check it out. An orb. It's already working. It guided me. I've been guided powder. But it's like, where is this in relation to the main drag? Because basically, this is going to be everywhere. Ooh, that is quite poisonous. Oh god, it's doing so much damage. I need to pour ambrosia to get healed. So I cannot seem to heal. I'm gonna die. I need to run out of here. Okay, let's get out of here. Alright, I'm now healing. Oh my goodness. So, it could be that in meat worlds you don't heal, or some sort of debuff affected us, that prevented us from healing, so we're back to full now. But I'm telling you, I was like, well, I guess that's the end of this run, folks. Okay, it is... something causes us to be losing tons of life when we enter these places. Because now I'm once again experiencing tons of fire and ambrosia. Okay. Alright, we're healing, we're healing. Please stop hitting me with poison. We're healing. Why is it that I lose so much life when I enter that biome? I don't know, but we're gonna try to get up out of here and just sort of collect ourselves before we get back to the main drag. Because something was doing an excessive amount of damage to us. We had to throw ambrosia down in a panic, hoping that that would end whatever it was. And I certainly could feel my adrenaline surging at that moment. Like, I'm dying and I don't know why kind of feeling. So by going this way, we're just kind of getting out of that treacherous area. And we're going to have to be very cognizant of that when we're in it. Now, this meat biome is new. I believe it's an Epilogue 2 update. And it is not something that I'm familiar with in the least bit. So why don't we count our blessings with the 7 orbs that we have now, and start to make that pivot down to the Temple of the Art in the main drag, so we can really get that last perk. I mean, we're going to have enough money to do 1 reload. It's going to cost, whatever, 3.8 million gold. We have, well, or 3 point something. We are at 3.8 million right now. Another thing we could, of course, consider doing is, how can I change my drill to not slow the game down as much? We could just simply start taking things off of the drill to see if that will cool the whole thing off, cool it down. And if we're going to do that, what would be the missing thing to put on there? More crits, perhaps? Feels like I tossed a bunch of crits. Okay, so we took 1 drill off. And now we might be back to somewhere reasonable. This looks like this could be a... That's a big acid vat that we don't want to have land on us. Now if we find Holy Mountain under here, we'll know we're back on the main drag, which is what we were looking for. And we certainly know there is a orb in hell. So let's really try to make our way down there. Do a little Temple of Art in the end of this episode. Maybe not the most methodical way to go searching, but if we have guiding powder, we're okay. Now, how much of the ambrosia has been burned into fire? Quite a bit. Quite a bit. It feels like the drill got cooled off a little bit and is working a little bit better. If there's anything else that we can do for it, we're full of... We don't have space for anything at this point. But we can certainly just start throwing things. Like, we don't have to carry all of this. The drill seems a little cooler now by taking off 2 of them. And it's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 count drill. In a past episode, we did a 10 count drill and it seemed to be okay. So it could be that 10 is the magic number for that, in which case we can chuck another one of these or chuck this bomb and bring it down to 10. It's like it's like the little bit more that we added to it made it just a little unwieldy for my taste. Like you can go all out with wands, but they must be practical for the engine, right? So yeah, I think that the key here is to do a little bit of the Temple of the Art. We have mages. Like, this thing is still working. This wand is brilliant. And it doesn't have that bad of a slowdown. Maybe because we kept it at 1 triplicate bolt, like a reasonable person. Maybe that was all we needed to do. Hey! Alright. Temple of the Art? Oh yeah. You bet your boots. So down at the bottom of this, which we may have already grabbed, it's almost like we did go down here. We were like, ooh, let's get that last perk at the bottom. And I just forgot doing that. wouldn't be the first time I'd forget something like that. If that's the case, it doesn't matter, because we're going to hell anyway. We need to go down. And I will tell you this, that the money could be very green in the Temple of the Ark. Very green indeed. And we want that because we're going to try to buy a Nala when we... That looks like teleport drink. Let's not touch it. Let's not touch it. Unless it's unstable teleport. Trying to get a read on it. It's regular teleport. Okay. Hard to tell the... Whoa! Hard to tell the exact difference. I got swappered. And there is a Master of Polymorph. We don't want that. Get rid of him. Get rid of his friend. Head through the curse. We're not concerned. We're not afraid. We're only afraid when our life goes down to, 2,000 and we don't know why or how we're taking all this damage. Yeah, it really feels... First of all, it sounds like something is polymorphing up a storm, so that's never good. But it's also the same sound that, like, Frozen Man makes. Nothing there. Let's go through this. Yeah, it looks like we did already go here. So I'm like, oh, yeah, there's gonna be one more perk. There's no more perk. That was it. The boss is over there to the right. You know what this means, people? It's hell time. Alright. Now, how can I do this without, lava to blood going... Or, I mean, without it all going crazy for me. Let's try just putting it in here and see if the shotgun itself... it's so slow when you add it that way. What did I just replace it with? This one? Let's try something like this. Let's put it actually on the drill. And this is what killed our engine before. Yeah, it's ugly. It is gnarly way to go down, but it is... It does work, quote-unquote. It's just... This frame rate is awful from using it. And I don't like it when we're chugging like this, but if this is what we must do, we can certainly work with it. We can also, slip away from it for a second, let it think, let that all render off screen, and we can try putting lava to blood in exchange in over something like this. Trying to use it this way. I drill a little bit. We drill. Now, the steam and whatnot is making a pretty awesome collection of concentrated mana right here. Maybe this is what we just need to drink. Making me float quite a bit. I'm thinking this could actually be a decent source of our drink. We don't end up with too much blood in it. We're only down to 3,000 some seconds, which means, like, we could run out if we don't take a moment to load up on this. I believe that there's steam and water being constructed from what we're doing. And it's creating more of this liquid. One thing that's interesting on here is since we added this is giving us some kickback, which is like, why are we floating up in such a weird way? Alright, hell we go, but careful, like, don't... I just liked it better by putting it in the shotgun as opposed to the drill. It's a little bit more manageable. If you call this manageable, I mean, this looks ridiculous, obviously. But we were able to drink some of this. There's enough down here at the bottom. Yeah, all that steam is creating quite a bit of our favorite drink. And it's pure too. Beautiful. So this was kind of a bizarre way of coming up with more concentrated mana. Who would have thought that this would all be fresh water under here? So let's take a moment, take advantage of that. This hell should be safe. I don't expect there to be any polymorph or anything nasty down here. I mean, it's nasty alright, but it's not game-breaking. And we messed up all of our wands too by doing this. Like, we don't even know. Ugh, don't touch that. Alright. More pure mana. What an interesting way to come up with a bunch of concentrated mana. Rather than sit here and keep lamenting that we were going to run out, we added several thousand seconds to our tummy. I'm telling you, we had some close calls this episode. It's like, let's just take a moment to reflect on how bad that really was. And how low my life got, and then how I couldn't heal at all. Like, why won't it let me heal? I don't know. Something happened. I was hit with some kind of debuff. And it was just awful. So let's get that heavy shot back on here. And something else will have to be done in order to get the Lava to Blood to work correctly. How about we take those crits off? Yeah. That's looking good to me. Welcome to hell. And we're going to rely on the shotgun for our Lava to Blooding while we're in here. Because Lava to Blood drill was not frame rate. Wasn't respectful of our frame rate, nor our time. But we definitely can still use guiding powder while we're in here. It's just going to make locating the thing that much easier. And we know there are two shops, right? There's a shop on the left. Ooh, we're getting those really cool super gold nuggets now. And this is going to make us get majorly paid. We're talking big money. They look like kind of like gold totems. You see, they're like a little face. And that is stuff that we want to be picking up. Like, if we're ever going to get, like, to billions of gold, it would probably be done in hell. Every one of those totems, it says it's a 10,000er that we're picking up. So that extra greed really contributed to this thing. Now imagine if we get, like, the gold totems, but we do that with our Kaboom Boom wand, and they're red totems then, wouldn't they? See? Well, let's try that. We don't want to leave any of those things behind, but let's blow this up and see if we get anything from that. Do we get red stuff by doing this? Careful, Stens. It's like you would have, but it doesn't do enough damage, apparently. There is a red totem right there. Let's see if I can get access to that without deleting it, because it made a lot of debris around here. You can see how much money that's worth. Just want to check it. Bloody Golden Idol, 10k. It says it's 10k, but it might multiply that times 4, so it'll be 40k? You can see how we're already up to nearly 7 million gold. That's going to let us to buy, like, basically any of the Greek letters that we want. Which isn't too many for this kind of run. I have to claim a little bit of an experience with using those. Well, let's start by saying that, you know, left will take us to a hard rock wall, according to our knowledge of hell. There's one of those lava worms. Should be a lucrative payout. One thing I love about being in here is I am not seeing a single polymorph guy. Like, Everything's actually chill. Okay. We killed this thing. Didn't really give us any money. Certainly made a lot of blood, but that could have been just from lava to blood. Ow. Like, it's sometimes hard to tell whether I'm taking a ton of damage or whether a homunculus is the one that's doing it. It's usually the homunculus who's gotten wiggled into some nasty spot. Plenty of golden idols, that's what they're called. Picked up golden idol, 10k. Ooh-wee. 8 million gold? Now imagine if we just did this in like 3 parallel worlds. We went, alright, I'm gonna clear out hell in 3 parallel worlds. At some point it would be like, oh yeah, you are at full cash. And then something like spells to gold is gonna make a big difference in our damage. We'll put that in the triplicate bolt, and hilarity would ensue. So why am I headed straight to the left? Because I believe that if we get to the left, we get to that sheer rock wall, we fall down. However, this doesn't exactly help us find the orb. There's always an orb of true knowledge in every hell. Well, there's an orb of true knowledge in the main hell, and then of course there would be orbs of forbidden knowledge, which, you know, are functional equivalents. Let's not split hairs about what one thing is and isn't. They all contribute to the victory that we want. And here's that sheer rock wall, which means that our hell shop will be right below us. We could take that, go through it, and buy a Nala, buy something. Yeah, this is the wall. This is feeling a little different than how I imagined hell to be, because now it's like, this is flat right here, so this isn't quite how I thought it worked. Okay. We are up to 10 million, so it's no longer telling us like how much we have in under that. It added an extra digit, so we can't really see where we are in the middle of a million. So it's going to kind of make it seem like the progress is a little slower. This feels like an orb right over here. Like, what is this? No, this is a curse. This is a curse. Okay. Interesting. We're not picking that up because that's just something bad. We who knows what that is, but it's not good. Probably not good. We wanted to fall down this sheer wall while picking up all the coins. 11 million achieved? Yeah, headed to hell, got us paid. Like, should have thought of this before, but you know what? It's good that we picked up all the perks first, because greed is good. This is looking like we're now going through the work. And this is where we're going to want to fall. Okay. Careful falling, though. What we don't want to do is, of course, fall and land in a pool of polymorph. So we're going to kind of just rappel down this. Because we wanted that hell shop. We talked about it before. We said, alright, we need to visit the hell shops again. A guy made a comment that, like, you know, pick up Nala, you might like your teleport wand a little more. And that is what we intend to do here. But safe-like. I swear, if we just fell down and, like, started, like, you know, having a drink and just sitting there and not worrying about anything, With my luck, we'd land right in a pool of chaotic polymorphine, and then a mob would shoot us and our game would end. And it's gonna be so anticlimactic. But hey, like guys, if that happens, we had a brush with death today. We can play again. You know, like we can start another Noita. You guys can watch me through the basic part. Sometimes it can be a little bit more fun when you aren't a god tier character. I don't know. I like both. All right, there's our hell shop. This is the hell shop we wanted. So it looks like one. Not quite what I had in mind. Chaotic spells, sure. Okay. Yeah, this is the stuff. Alpha, cool. Moo, we have it. A divide by 3 interacts with other divide by spells. Be good. Start throwing gratuitous drills away. For another divide by. Why not? Anybody got a Nola? There's a wand refresher. Would have been nice to have found one of these in the hell shop before. When we went up to this in non-New Game Plus, remember? We searched both hell shops for a certain thing and got nothing. Hard break right here. So the shop must continue this direction. It does. Weird spell I don't recognize. Touch of oil. Okay. Not something we need. M. Okay. The shop is a little bigger than I remember, so that's comforting. More chaos spells. Don't recognize this thing. This is called Peplicate spell. Should we buy that and see what that does? I don't think I've ever bought this before. Hey, what's 35k? Cast 5. Ugh. Stop. I'm reading, guys. I'm reading. Whatever. We bought it. We have that. Just enough drills, please. We gotta make hard choices of what we're gonna carry at this point. I have enough drills. I'm drilled out. That Greek letter is one of those that's like cast everything again. That's gonna get a little laggy. Yeah, that one is one of the... That's a nasty one, I think. Tons of water over there. This looks like this could be the end of the shop. This is now a frozen waste with hell. We didn't find... Ooh. We did not find the spell we wanted. Ow. But it was the friends we made along the way. AKA the money. Which put us to 14 million. But we're kind of looping around in here. We're not... Oh. Okay. I wish someone could explain to me what happened in that biome where I wound up nearly dying earlier. Like, I'm gonna have to go... We're gonna have to deconstruct the film to understand, like, why did my health strangely drop to 2,000 and begin like a death spiral that involved me then, like, having to drink emergency ambrosia. It's a lot of freezing vapor. We'd really like to know what went wrong up there. Oh, did I just slip into that? No, I didn't. Okay, that's an M, that's an alpha. Add trigger. Let's head to the right. That might be where we can find the spell we want. Divide by 2, sure. I know there's interactions between the different forms of divide by. And you don't want to use, for example, the same divide. Like I said, I know a little bit about this, but not enough to do anything. There's a necromancy. Don't need that. There's another necromancy, I think. Add expiration trigger, not necromancy. Just also a skull. There's a nuke. Okay, so this shop was a little bigger than we had thought. T, don't remember T. Divide by 4. Another divide by. This way we can, like, if we decide to get brave and say, alright, I am going to learn how to work with divide, then we know we want several different types of divide by spells. We have divide by 4, divide by 3, possibly divide by 2. 2x, so it's like spell duplication. Maybe I was supposed to buy that and it was erroneous that I skipped it. But all I can say is that this shop goes a heck of a lot further to the right than I had originally thought. Meaning that we should be able to find a Nala somewhere in here. Just RNGesus, as they say. Still have 5,000 seconds of our concentrated mana. And I would really like to end this episode on a high note of finding the spell we wanted. So we came all the way down here. But if we don't get it, you know, that would be typical Sten's fashion. Like, we're gonna get this certain thing, and then it knows I want that, and it's like, you don't get that, sir. That's not for you. And hey, you know, got enough cruel fate in my life to know when it's happening. But this is pretty minor in that regard. We're on the home stretch of this episode, and we just want to find a spell. It's almost like, though, that spells aren't dropping over here anymore, which means we may have left the shop and entered into a different kind of biome. There's no shop. Nothing for sale is bad. Oh, hello.
You here?
Look who it is. Hi, Jess. Welcome to this thing. I'm still in the middle of a recording here.
Shit, I can't hear you.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Now let's...
Now you can. Hey, Jessi, thanks for showing up in this.
I'm like recording.
Yes, I am recording. So you're on TV.
I'm drunk with like heavy construction noises going on behind me.
That's right in character. I mean, this is there's enough of that happening in this episode right now, and we're on the home stretch, so I'm going to be done in a little bit, and then you and I can hang out. But let me go ahead and take a second to share my screen, and we will enter into a bit of stoppage time here. Let this episode go a tiny bit longer. Gonna share my screen for her so she can see this fiasco that we're in. We're looking for a specific spell within this thing called the Hell Shop. I love this sound you're making. I'm gonna like that.
Good.
It's good. It's perfect. It actually fits right in with what we're doing. Ugh. So the whole thing is that I came down here was just to get paid, as well as to get an orb closer to our victory, as well as to buy a spell. And we got everything we needed except the orb and the spell. So you can kind of see the way the money is just sort of exploding at this point, that I have enough greed stacked up and enough... It's just a mess, is all I can say. I am trying to find one specific thing that will allow my teleport wand to make me basically go, like, zoom across the map wherever I want to go. And instead, we're getting just ridiculous slowdowns. It feels like we're not even really in the shop anymore. Like, I haven't seen something for sale. Oh, there's still a shop. So we want to have eyes peeled for anything that's like these kind of things. It means we're on the right path. Blood magic. There's a specific symbol we're looking for. And oof. Jessi, one thing you missed earlier in this episode is I almost died. I had some sort of bizarre interaction with something, and like my adrenaline just surged through the roof. Like it was about to be like, well guys, it was nice knowing you. Thank you, YouTube audience, for everything. It's over. And we kept our composure, and we escaped the scenario, but it was harrowing to say the least. So you'll see that if you want to watch this. I know this isn't usually your game to sit there and like watch me hammer away at this for an hour, so perhaps I'll make a chapter in it, so you can just click there and be like, okay, here's where Sten's almost croaked.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Maybe that interests you. Maybe not. Okay. So we're still not finding the symbol, and I forget how long we are in the episode. I actually minimized OBS, so I don't know where we're at. We might be going a bit over on time. So at some point we just might have to end this kind of anticlimactically and be like, okay, we didn't find a Nala, but we got paid, and we're at 19 million gold. Isn't that enough to feel satisfied? I think kind of it is. I mean, like, I can continue to peel this onion and go a little further.
It's 7:06 Eastern, if that helps.
It does help. It means I'm about 5 minutes over my normal recording length. I hate to demand too much from our audience to want to watch hours upon hours of this game in a row. So I'd like to keep my episodes at an hour long. But it's one of those things where it's like, but I'm just so close. And it's like, I want to be able to end it on a high note and tell everybody, like, whoa, hello, guy. Let's not deal with that.
Just edge them until the next episode.
You think so? Just be like, okay, well, we're gonna find the Nala soon. And people can just wait. They don't need this climax. Because who's still watching at this point anyway? No, I'm just kidding. People are, according to the data. So we can edge, as you say, and call it here in the next minute or two.
That would be my MO, you know.
Yeah, it would. Now, what we want, though, is to acknowledge the fact that we're at up to 120 subs now. So, I just want to thank everybody who's been helping the channel grow. And, you know, we don't always get to accomplish every goal that we've wanted to do every episode, you know? There can be setbacks, reversals, but there is always progress being made. So, over here, we'll find a nice, cozy spot so that when I log back in, I'm not, like, immediately swarmed by enemies, even though they probably can't kill me at this point. And we're gonna end up calling it up here without having found what we wanted. But you know what? We are gonna use this to find the orb too. Ooh, look at all the gold just flying around. There's gonna be an orb somewhere in hell here. We have the material needed to go track it down. Hopefully we will find it in the next episode, find that Nala, and make a better teleport wand, and continue to chip away at going for 33 orbs. We're only at 7, but we did find 2 today off the beaten path, so that's a victory. I appreciate all you guys watching. Jessi, thanks for showing up at the end here and gracing us with your presence once again. And I will see everybody in the next episode, unless, Jessi, you have any final thoughts?
Nope.
Okay. Sounds good to me. And on that note, goodbye, everyone.